NUFC Matters show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email John at nufcmatters.com to arrange today.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices, I took what I had sworn. Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. But you know, they wouldn't let you have it any other way.
Good evening, welcome to NUFC Matters. It is the Fans Forum on the last show of 2024, the last live show for us anyway. And we start with some rather sad news. It is a former Newcastle United player, Michael Newbury, has passed away. The announcement of his death came from the Belfast-based side Cliftonville. They confirmed the sad news. It would have been his 27th birthday, but didn't make the first team at Newcastle, of course, was part of the younger setup. But nonetheless, he wore black and white for us, and we just want to say our thoughts are with his friends and family. That's Michael Newbury, who passed away today. Okay, we do play Manchester United tonight, but as always, we're going to revel, I guess, in a wonderful victory against Aston Villa first in the first half of the show. But I do want to pay special thanks to everybody who came along to our Christmas party. It was slightly later than normal this year, just so Jules could come, really. We wanted Jules to be there, one of our moderators. We tend to do it in November. It was a slightly smaller turnout because of that, because in between Christmas and New Year, it's quite difficult, I guess, for everybody to get along. But we did have some great people there, people who you know, lots of people who hadn't been to an event for the first time as well. There was also an impromptu meeting of the Darren's Jacob Murphy Supporters Association. He chaired the meeting, Darren. He was trying to get a lot of people on site to get behind Jacob because obviously he's had such a big part. Of course, Nobby Solano was also there, talking to Darren quite a bit about Jacob Murphy, saying how much he liked him and how great a player he was. Darren was thumbs up for that kind of comment. And yeah, we even had our Jeff who turned up. Good to see Jeff there. Roger getting in there with Nobby Solano as well. Denise was there. Good to see Denise. Also good to see Dave, Billy Gibson, who had come up from Ipswich for the family Christmas and spent a bit of time with us. And AJ as well, who doesn't get a chance to watch the show live, but he came up as well. Good to see all of those people. Thanks for coming along and supporting the Cat and Dog Shelter. We've got the Long Sands gig to go as well, which of course is at the weekend. And we will announce our total that we've raised for the Cat and Dog Shelter after the Long Sands event. So thanks to everybody who came along. Of course, Steve Hasty was there as well. And we had a cracking night. Joe Allen popped in as well for a couple of hours. Great to see everybody. But all in all, a great night. And as I say, for a great cause. So thanks to everybody for coming along. For those of you who are coming to the Long Sands, look forward to seeing you all then. Okay, George. You've been away, mate. You've been to Dubai. We saw you, of course, on the Amigos on Friday. We know you had a great time, but you did manage to watch the Aston Villa game with Neil and the Dubai Mags. What did
Yeah.
you make of it, mate? First of all, the
Well,
experience of just being with the
was-
Dubai Mags and the game itself.
Well, it was a great experience. It helps when the game's as good as that one was. I mean, if you kind of get excited about that one, you'll never get excited about anything. And to meet so many people that have the passion for our club and live nearly 4,000 miles away is quite a treat. You know, and there's a said earlier when we're in the green room, the number that came and said, "Well, I'm not from the area, but I love Newcastle United," and almost apologetic. I said, "You know, I was saying, don't apologise. We like black and whites, and you're welcome. Come and enjoy it. And if you come into Newcastle, come and see we. There's enough of us around at the matches, and it would be nice to say hello. I mean, it's just a treat to hear people like that. And the place that they've got, this hotel, is ideal for what they've got. They've got quite a big room, takes over 250 when it's full. There was about 150 there on Boxing Day, and really packed off, stowed off. You can have drinks, you can have a meal, and I'm not surprised the hotel likes it because they obviously do a good bit of business with it. In fact, the hotel that they used to go to, I think, is kicking itself for turning its back on Dubai Mags during COVID because they're losing out quite a bit. So yeah, fantastic experience. It helps when your team wins on your birthday, of course. One of Neil's friends, Barry, has a little boy who was one on Boxing Day, and his wife Sarah asked our Neil, she says, "Do you think your dad would be upset if we did a party and included him?" And Neil said, "God, no, my dad never refused a party," which is true. I mean, I've had a party every year in my bloody life. I must be the only 83-year-old that's had a party every year in my life. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic. They decorated the garden, their estate, with photographs of me, young Caden, and other members of the family. It was just wonderful. So all of that, and then a super match afterwards, and super in lots of ways. I mean, my humble opinion is that the sending off wouldn't have made a difference. I think we still would have got 3 points off Aston Villa handsomely. In fact, in some ways, we might have turned a couple of those chances that ended up offside in the back of the net if they'd had 11 on the field. So I absolutely fantastic game. It's difficult to find a player who didn't put his heart and soul into what was happening, and the usual culprits were there to be man of the match. I mean, it was I again, as you lads know, I love Tonali, and I just sneaked into him, but it could easily have been Lewis Hall. It could have easily have been Fabian Schär, who recovered well after that ridiculous foul. You know, and listen, some people, so-called professional people, including Aaron Shearer, trying to excuse that was horrible. But I know what that's about. You see, they're protecting their mates. They're protecting their mates in a way because they don't want it to be pointed in their direction if ever it happens. But I thought the way they tried to trivialise something which was a really violent act is as far as I'm concerned. If his foot had just got another 2 or 3 inches higher on Shaw's back, he'd have kicked the hole in the back of Shaw's head. Well, when we get to the stage where that can be excused, we're in trouble. And the other things, I mean, some of the play that we from us right across the front and in midfield was just superb, and from the back as well. Trippier was back on song, as I said. That Lewis Hall was is maturing now. He's now not just heading the ball away or kicking the ball away into a mate. He's actually bringing it down on his chest and on his thigh and demonstrating his football skills because he's more into it now. And I love that from a young person when they show that they're maturing in that way. So difficult to find somebody who I can't praise. And I've got to be honest and say that I wasn't, as you lads remember, I wasn't 100% certain that Dubravka should have been in our goal. I was inclined to have a go at our Greek lad. But all I can say about Drvalka is he hasn't let us down. In fact, he made some brilliant saves. That free kick save, where he pushed it to the side so it didn't go back into the main play, was superb. It's sort of thing he did when he first came here. So you could go from 1 to 11. It was just brilliant. And then the other thing that niggled at me was the number of times Aston Villa players were allowed to speak to the referee, and nothing happened. You know, every chance they got, they were twittering on, including the bloke that was sent off, twittering on at the referee all the time, as were the coach and staff, and Emery was yapping at the fourth official from start to finish. And then, of course, he took it a bit too far and got too close to our assistant manager and paid for it. I suspect we might hear some more about that from the FA soon, depending on what's in the referee's report. But no, great day, great experience, and to get a match like that to go with it, I count myself very fortunate. It's I'm trying to think of a game which is thrilled me as much on my birthday. I think the first one to be like that was in '56, I think, when my school teacher Alec Tate scored a hat-trick against the Mackhams on Boxing Day, and that was a great thrill. I was able to go into school on the Monday morning, or a couple of Mondays later when the holiday was over, and say, "You played really well, sir." So yeah, I loved it. Obviously, you can gather from how I'm twittering on that it couldn't have been better, and to do it with my family there just added to it all. And long may it continue, lads. Long may it continue.
Steve Bennett passing on his best to you, George. Said it was great to spend time with you, and he's now off to have a pint with Mitch and Stu for the game. Good luck on that, Steve. Yes. And happy birthday to Gary M in the chat, who is he just says he's looking forward to having 3 points for the match. Welcome to Kev. He joins the panel now. Good to see you, Kevin. I just want to say that on this platform, we obviously some people get fan mail, and not just me. It's great to see that after last week's show, Darren got a bit of fan mail because he is of course the chairman of the Jacob Murphy fan club, and when you get fan mail, you get good fan mail and you get bad fan mail, unfortunately. And Darren's was bad last week. Here it is. Darren talks utter tripe. He talks over everyone else and expects the rest of the panel to listen to his opinions. Darren, as the chairman of the Jacob Murphy fan club, I'll open the floor to you for that response.
Well, he spelled my name wrong to start off with, so it's not me, is it? So it's not me, and so let the spell properly first, mate. So that's all I've got to say to him.
Okay, give us your views on the game, mate, before Tilly chips in the chat.
First, I don't think it was sent off. Sorry, George, I don't think it was sent off. I've watched it. It's all on opinions. I just don't think it was sent off. But all in all, I've had 11 men. We still would have beat them. And for the last 2 weeks, I've called the goal scorer. Ward Davies rang us, and I've said, I went to Tonali and I went Gordon, and they both scored. So I'm going for the hat of the night. I'm going for Isak to score the first goal. So that's our fancy of the night. So, but again, for that, we bossed them start to finish. I couldn't name man the match, to be fair. It was hard to name man. Everybody played good. A good team performance, good 3 points, Boxing Day. So that record's gone up, like thank God that day losing on Boxing Day. So I was happy about that at home. So, but good sort of performance, like I say, Villa was just whinging one a lot. But all players getting the referees' ears and moan. Man U for the worst team are doing it. We're to show we're better caliber of players because we don't do it. Good performance and Dubravka. I can't see Nick Pope getting his team anytime soon because you feel safer with the ball at Dubravka's feet.
Well, I agree the way he is at the minute, Darren. I agree with you.
Even Nick Pope didn't make that. Nick Pope lost me against Brentford. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. But Nick Pope didn't make that. Nick Pope lost me against Brentford. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet. I don't trust him now. That's when he come out with his feet I watched him in the warm-ups. He catches everything before the game. I've watched like Steve watching him. He catches everything in the game. Punches. Why does he punch when he catches everything? It's just so annoying. But not the drawback. I'll keep him in the team when the report back. Put him on the bench because you can't just put it. You can't just. He's done nothing wrong behind the net for the last 4 or 5 games. And again, today I'll play the same team, unchanged. We might make on the right. So that's it.
All right, good stuff. He's playing with a straight back tonight. Barry, thanks for your list. He sent us the latest list of transfers. We're up to 86 now, believe it or not, and the transfer window is still not open. Unbelievable. Almost hitting the 100 mark before the window's open. Some absolutely crazy suggestions on the transfer window as well. But we will come to them when we're back in full flow next week with the live shows. Thanks to everybody as well. People chipping in saying they had a great night on Saturday. Great to see everybody. Yeah, Barry, Aston Villa, great result, wasn't it, mate? I'd predicted 4-0. There was a few raised eyebrows, I remember, when I predicted 4-0. But yeah, we almost did it. 3-0 could have been 5 or 6. And I genuinely think Newcastle would have won with 11 men. We were the dominant force, full stop. Villa didn't have an answer to it, and Newcastle were by far the better team. And what was your view, Barry?
I think for me it was huge because obviously the 2 previous games, the Leicester game, it was looking as though we were getting so many comments of, oh yeah, you're beating a really poor team. And I mean, no matter what anybody says, Villa aren't a poor team. They're well organised. Yes, they didn't play particularly well, but they have the capability of turning over teams. And for me, Steve, Newcastle looked absolutely superb in every position. They're right the way across the pitch. I agree with a lot of people who were saying in the chat, Tonali for me, again, he's running the team now. He's taken over from Bruno. He's releasing Bruno so he can go and do what he's meant to do. And Tonali is just controlling the rhythm of the team and everything else. And it's just working like a dream. I think Howe's finally managed to get the 2 of them ticking together. And I don't think there's anybody who can't have a right go at. I think Gordon had a good game. He was scaring the pants off them every time he went forward. I thought Murphy had a good game. Defensively, we were sound. I totally agree with Darren. I think Dubravka's playing out his skin. My only concern is that it looks as though Dubravka's one of the possibilities on the way out. Because we're actually going to get some money for him, which I think is a shame at the minute because he is playing really, really well. And I think I would like to see him stay, but it doesn't look as though that's what's going to happen. What I wanted to say, Steve, was a huge thank you for putting up the chat with Keegan, Waddle and Beardsley. I sat and watched that over Christmas when I was down in the dumps, and that is one of the best ones I've seen. Absolutely superb. The 3 Musketeers were just absolutely brilliant. Well worth a watch for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. But yeah, it rolls on tonight, doesn't it? And you've got this whole nervous thing because it's Man United. If you look at it, how they're playing and how we're playing, they're playing shite. We should be able to turn them over, regardless of whether it's away or not. But because it's Man United, there's this big sort of thing around it. They're a bit of a bogey team. They do tend to play well against us. And I'm just praying like mad that we give them, as the legend that is Mr. Mitchell would say, a shellacking. Because I would love to see it at their ground. I would absolutely love it to happen at Old Trafford. And they're already saying that if they get hammered tonight, then that's the manager's job out the window for tomorrow as well. So I'm really looking forward to tonight. But yeah, the Villa game was absolutely superb. If they turn up like they did against Villa, we should be able to beat Man United as well.
Yeah, 100%. The Keegan Waddle Beardsley thing, people won't be able to see it now. It was only up for a couple of days. We did promise that we'd put it up for a couple of days and then take it down. So it's been up. If you were there and you watched it, good. If not, you missed out. That's why you should subscribe to the channel. Kevin, good evening. Thanks for joining us, mate. I know you've been running all over the place today, but you're back, which is great. So give us your views on the Villa game first, mate. Controversial, as always, from Darren, who said it wasn't a penalty.
We didn't have a penalty, it was a sending off.
Sending off, sorry. The sending off. Yeah, sending off, sorry.
No, I thought it was, obviously, when I seen it live on TV, and my initial thought was, oh, that's naughty. We need to have a look at that, because I thought it was a sending off right from the get-go. not the intent was there to hurt the lad, but again, you can quite easily move your feet. You see it all the time when the defender slides across. The centre forward typically puts his foot in between the legs or to the side of it, or gets out of the way somehow or whatever to stop his forward momentum, but that didn't happen. So the referee, in my opinion, made the right decision and made the decision on the field, and it stood, and that's how the game should be always played. Stand by the referee's decision. He stood by what he saw, and they all backed him up. Fair play. So we move on. But apart from that, I thought, again, Tonali was fantastic in the middle of the park against Villa. I thought he, again, controlled everything. Everything pretty much went through him. You know, trying to remember it now, to be fair. But, you know, it was a controlled, disciplined, another professional performance. And that, again, especially against 10 men, you know what they're going to do. They're going to sit in, play low blocks, play on the counter-attack. Bit of shithousery being a play with from Emery from the sideline. He was just a junior Arteta, in my opinion, because I think he's reading from the same book as him. So there was added play. I thought we handled that well. Obviously, the 20-man brawl allegedly in the tunnel, I think that helped just to get us over the line a little bit, to galvanise us even more, which brings the team and the staff and the club or whatever together to get the result. And you know, segueing into for tonight, I think Man United are in a massive spiral going downhill because they are absolutely shocking. I watched them. I can't remember who they played over the Christmas period, but it was dreadful. You know, there's no cohesiveness. There's nothing about them that really worries me. They've got big players missing, alleged big players missing, I should say. So I'm going into today's game with a lot of confidence. And why shouldn't we? We were unbeaten in 4? Scoring goals for fun, only let 1 goal in. If we manage the game correctly, defensively with a game plan and play on the front foot, you know, this is the old adage, can we go away from home and play on the front foot and get a positive result? I think we can tonight. I think we'll, for me, I'm not going to go 4 or 5. I'm not going to be that optimistic.
Well, we'll come to that. We'll come to that in a sec. We'll come to that in a second.
Again, I'm just really confident about going in. That's where I stand and see it. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Magnus, looking back at the Villa game, what was your thoughts on that? Good response from the team, you know, and keeping the run going. That was what it was all about.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, only about 4 games ago, some parts of the fan base was calling for, you know, Eddie Howe. And I was not one of them voices, just to make that clear. I'm really, really impressed with the team. We did put it up the way that the next 4 games would be, you know, kind of the deciding games, you know, and seeing if they really wanted to play for Eddie Howe. And boy, oh boy, have they shown that, you know. For me, the only disappointment is Jolinton. I said 2-0, and he ruined it by scoring the 3rd goal. But I'll totally forgive him that, you know. I'm happy to forgive him for ruining my prediction like that, you know. You also said I've been listening to the 3 as a crowd. I'm really happy to maybe break the ice. I think we've had a 30-year spell on horrible Boxing Day results, you know, and very, very nice to break that deadlock again. And I must say with what Darren said, a very good point on Dubravka. I've been very impressed with whatever he's had to do. He seems to be confident on the ball. For me, this has also got to do with Tonali, that has been sensational in every way. He's elevating the team. I don't know if I can explain it, you know, but for me, with his quality and his sort of delicate touches and forward thinking, he's stopping also counterattacks like nobody's business. You know, I am so impressed with this game. It really is elevating and improving absolutely everybody around him. So, you know, long may that continue. And I think we have really started to see Tonali in his best form. You know, he's a world class. You know, only we are seeing it for the first time. He went through a hard time, took out his punishment, and right now he's just really loving life in the Northeast, and it's showing, and it's something we needed, and it's lovely to watch. I really can't get enough of it. I want to also say a great praise to all the other players, especially Jacob Murphy. He's been sensational, man. He's been absolutely smashing. If I have to pick, and if I want to pick a player of December, it will have to be him, and I'm sorry, Darren. Hey, I'm going to say thanks to you, Darren. You've been a critical friend.
No,
this is what we try to do here.
It was all. Sorry, you're wrong.
Okay, well, we all have opinions. We don't have to agree on everything. So, long may it continue, and I'm optimistic for this evening.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. We'll look ahead to Manchester United in the second half of the show. And yeah, look, people who watch the show regularly know Magnus does struggle a little bit with his microphone. He does try, bless him. Every show before we come on, he always tries. We had an echo before, so at least it's better than that. And you just have to take your time and listen to him. But bear with him, because what he has to say is always very special. Pablo, good evening. Your views on the Villa game?
I just want to say, first of all, my lights are probably going to go off in a minute because I've not
Well,
managed
this is why I put you and Magnus together. Well, we've got the mic problem and we've got the light problem, so it's good. But
all we need is Martin next to us, and we'll be a threesome.
What did you make of the Villa game, mate?
Absolutely phenomenal. When you look at, what a Christmas we've had. I think the key word with Villa, and it was literally from minute one, is the word intensity. When we open a game like that, you are right. I think we would have gone on to win it with 11 men. The way the game unfolded, it was more comprehensive. But even just looking at, we use these words, body language again. If you look at the two absolute belting goals, Gordon and Joe Linton, they're literally playing with their heads up. They've already scored that goal before it's left their foot.
Yeah.
It was absolutely phenomenal to see. And the other key word that I probably use, and everyone's touching on it, is finally the balance of the team is right. And certainly the engine room, where everything comes from with Tonali and, Jesus Christ, Bruno. Once that engine room's settled, the rest is free flowing. It allows Gordon, it allows Darren's mate Jacob to just do their thing. They're playing with a bit more freedom because they're actually getting passes that are finding them, because there isn't that kind of confusion in the middle. I'd probably go with the Dubravka stuff. Is there any way that we can keep him? Because I would be an advocate all day long of keeping Dubravka for as long as we can, until we get that long-term solution. If there's anything we can do, I would put all my eggs into him rather than Pope. But I've said that all along. I'm trying to think what else was I going to say. The sending off. I probably disagree with a lot of people in the fact that when I first saw it, I was 100% it was a sending off, because in my mind, I can clearly see what he's trying to do there. He's trying to leave one on Shah, but he's trying to do it very kind of cleverly and succinctly, because we've all been in them tackles where you can just leave a bit and get away with it because it looks, the situation will harness it. So I was red card all day long on that, and having seen it, I've still not changed my mind. And plus as well, that player he has got a bit of an angry streak and a fiery streak about him. So I've no doubt in my mind that he wanted to leave something on. So I'm happy with that red card. And everything after that, we just continued in the same vein as we did in the first 5 minutes. And we actually just put Villa to the sword. I was glad to see Emery doing his usual on the sideline when he loses it. Kev's right. He is a little mini Arteta. Same with Guardiola. When things are not going right for me, they're like an overgrown man-child. So it's quite funny to watch that. Mad Dog, I just hope that Mad Dogs give him a slap in the tunnel. I really do. And I hope it's on YouTube for like a New Year's special. That'd be absolutely cracking. But we don't advocate violence. Go on, Mad Dog, lad.
Man. Well done.
He's just come straight off the Tanners there, hasn't he? 9 minutes on a mega bed. But yeah,
he's got great tan as well, man.
Yeah, on the whole, absolutely fantastic. Going into tonight, which we'll discuss. It just goes to show, if you open up games with firepower, there's a lot of Premier League teams that will crumble within that first 10 minutes, because football these days, I think there's too much emphasis, and Kev will disagree because it's his gig. There's too much emphasis on shapes and patterns and tactics. Start with intensity, and 9 times out of 10, you might get some answers and some rolls in. So yeah, absolutely buzzing, mate. Absolutely buzzing, and on to tonight.
Good stuff, Tom.
Well, first of all, I guess I owe you an apology, Steve. Last week, I said you put a jinx on us, and I inferred that your parents weren't married when you were born. And I really apologize for that.
I'm also a bastard then.
So, we all have our traditions, and our traditions, for me is always having a pint of Guinness before the start of each half. I know everybody, has with family, friends, they have their traditions, but we also have some superstitions, of course. I don't care if a black cat crosses my path or if I go under a ladder. I don't care. But what I do care about is Newcastle United. And I know that when I wear this ugly shirt, and this is I think the 1990 Greenalls shirt that I think is the ugliest shirt that we've ever had. A lot of people would disagree with that. I've had plenty of arguments on it. But when I wear this shirt and it's a night game, we get something out of it. So that is my superstition. And so I'm wearing it today with my Lucky Pogue shirt underneath it. So I know we're going to double the chances to get big time goals this week. But you last week predicted a 4-0 win. And that is another superstition that I have. Whenever Steve says we're going to win big, we typically don't play well. So, Steve, I'm happy to say that jinx is broken. And again, apologize to both you and your parents, because I don't think that was a very nice thing for me to say. Although I believed it in my heart of hearts at the time when I said it. So the match was great last week. We had, I counted in 7 different publications or websites. We had 7 different players that could get man of the match. That was Isak, that was Gordon, that was the entire midfield, that was Hall, and that was Schär. And I thought, wait, you have 7 players, vying for man of the match, and a 3-0 win that could have easily been 5 or 6. It was fantastic. So great stuff. As Magda said, we're on a roll. And I want a little shout out to Alan Thompson here. He said he really wanted to give it to Villa, and God bless him for saying that. And I know that he had a very special Merry Christmas and Boxing Day. So thanks. Good shout out to Alan for doing that. So yeah, I think it was a terrific one. As far as the red, I thought it was a straight red. And we all know that in Darren's family that if you want to have the best looking person, the one with the most brains, personality, maturity, and football nous, that's going to be Tilly. It's not going to be Darren. We love you, Darren, but we love Tilly more. And if we ask the parents,
got bigger and bigger.
If we ask the panel in the chat group to vote, I'm sure that every one of them would agree with me on that. So anyway, it was a terrific match. It was a straight red, and I think that Jacob Murphy now has 3 goals and 6 assists, right? So that's not bad from anybody. In fact, I think I could be wrong here. There's only 2 other Premier League wingers that have done that. So done at least that good. So anyway, I put it out there that go Jacob Murphy, let it continue. Go Mags, let it continue. And
great stuff. Yeah, no worries. Great stuff. That's it. We're going to have a look ahead to Manchester United match in due course. We'll have the ads. I haven't had time to record the ads, so obviously the Christmas do has been and gone. A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them by email, www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickys.co.uk. Email info@mrvickys.co.uk or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to United Group Travel, our fanzine sponsors. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2024 tours, 2 crew driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. All excursions included. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com, email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com, telephone 01670 632 460 or mobile 0791 666 4174. 2024 Travel and Tourism Award winners. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. You can find them at their website, media-arts.co.uk. Our podcast is now available on Sport Social Podcast Network. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast providers. If you want to support the show, hit the thumb up under the video, and that likes the video. Click share to share to your other social media, and hit the subscribe button. We do 7 shows a week. Or hit the join button if you want to financially support us. It costs $1.99 a month. Some dates for your diary. The NUFC Matters Christmas party is in aid of Newcastle Dog and Cat Shelter. Tickets £10 from newcastlelegends.com. The event takes place Saturday, 28th of December, 7 till 11 at the Tyneside Irish Centre. The Longstands are making a reunion in aid of Newcastle Dog and Cat Shelter Saturday, January the 4th at the Clooney. Tickets are £15 from the Clooney venue or newcastlelegends.com. Peter Beardsley will be at the Tyneside Irish Centre on January the 10th. Tickets available from Woucher or from newcastlelegends.com. And an evening with the Entertainers, 24th of January. Box office number 0191 243 1171 or website Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk. The Lee Clark event is now taking place at the Tyneside Irish Centre on the 31st of January. Tickets available from Woucher. And an afternoon with Sir Les Ferdinand takes place the 6th of April 2025, 12 till 4 at the O2 City Hall in Newcastle. Tickets for that from ticketmaster.co.uk. We have limited fanzine subscriptions available. Go to the website newcastlelegends.com to order yours today. And Will Scott's book is also available from the same website, as well as the Backpage Shop, Waterstones, and WH Smith's. Okay, welcome back to the Fans Forum. Newcastle United are in Manchester tonight at Old Trafford, and they kick off at 8 o'clock. It is live on Sky Sports. All 3,000 away section tickets have been sold. Following Sunday's results, Newcastle have dropped 2 places from 5th to 7th. The team news that was coming in pre-match was that Tino Livramento may return after missing the home win over Aston Villa due to illness. Kieran Trippier's fitness was unclear after he went off in that game. We do know that Nick Pope, Callum Wilson, Jamal Lascelles remain out, and Emil Kraft and Sven Botman are closing in on comebacks from injury. As for Manchester United, well, it's the Marcus Rashford show, because he has been featured quite heavily on social media and on Sky already. He is in the squad tonight. Will he start? We'll find out in due course. Bruno Fernandes and Manuel Ugarte are both suspended. Mason Mount, Victor Lindelof and Luke Shaw are all missing through injury. Ruben Amiron's side have lost 4 of their most recent 5 Premier League fixtures, and they are 14th in the table. And at home this season in the Premier League, they've won 4 times, they've drawn once, and they've lost the other 4 games. Referee tonight is Simon Hooper. This is his 3rd match in charge of a Newcastle fixture this season. Not been a great ref for us, it has to be said. We lost 2-1 at Chelsea and 4-2 at Brentford with Simon Hooper in charge of the game. And VAR tonight is Paul Tierney. And if you're watching the match at home, obviously it is on Sky Sports. If you want to pop into town, Freight in the Big Market, the Dog and Parrot on Clayton Street West, and the Prince on Pudding Chair are all featuring the game tonight. We have had a guy on over the years on NUFC Matters who supports Manchester United. I asked Melly to give us his views on the game tonight.
So I've arrived in Manchester a little bit early. Normally when this fixture comes around, I'm feeling very confident, but obviously with Newcastle's run of form and United's lack of form, I think it's going to be a bit closer. Obviously, we haven't got Bruno or Regate, and need to keep an eye on Gordon on the wing. But I'm still going to go for 2-1 Manchester United win. May the best team win. United.
Only one United, Melly.
Yeah.
There's only one United, Melly, although you wouldn't think so with the coverage on Sky. I can see people already getting a bit upset that they're calling Manchester United, and calling us Newcastle. Bit annoying, but that's we should be used to it by now. George, massive match this tonight, and 2 huge games back to back following that wonderful spell we've had over Christmas. Yeah, we've got this game and then we've got Spurs away. So what's your feelings on this one tonight, George?
Well,
what
an opportunity to set the seal on what's been a fantastic holiday period. And for me, I know I'm always over optimistic probably, but I can't see why. I can't see anything in the games I've watched that Manchester United have had on the television or other teams have played, even Spurs the other night. They should be doing something to worry us. We seem to have organised ourselves in a way that should combat anything that they can do. And Maguire at centre half is going to get his legs run off him by Isak and anybody else that goes down the middle. And they've got fullbacks that, in my opinion, on show where they're supposed to be playing anyway. So I'm confident this is going to be a win for us, and I'd be extremely disappointed if it wasn't. Although I'm not playing it down, we need to be careful about it, because if Rashford is playing and the manager decides to give him a run out, we've got somebody who, in my opinion, is a real top-class player, and he'll be hurting. And what he wanted to be able to do to say that manager is to say to the manager, 2 fingers to you, bunny lad, I'm going anyway. But he still would want to leave his mark. So we've got to be very cautious about Rashford being in that squad. But that still shouldn't stop us winning the game. I'm convinced that we have the skill and the ability and the organisation now, more importantly, that we've lacked in the past. I'd say, I see nothing but a Newcastle United win. I predicted 3-0 for Villa on Saturday, and I'm going to use the same score tonight at Manchester United. And it just has that ring about it for me. And to the Manchester United fans, to Melly and them, I hope that they can watch the match without too many rats running around their ankles and mice in their seats and all of that rubbish. Listen to fans, Manchester United. Be careful what you ask for. They wanted a big money man to come in and help them take some of the pressure off the Glazers. Well, they've got all those billions, and they've still got the bloody Glazers. Ratcliffe's only got 23% of the club, and the Glazers have all the rest and just sit back and blame him. And why shouldn't they? Over 300 people being made redundant by that man. And this week, he actually stopped paying 40 grand to the Manchester Old Stars charity. I mean, what does that tell you about the guy's intentions and his look at things? He may think he's a good at business. Well, I felt from the off because I know Rainsford and 1 or 2 of his people that work on the America's Cup things, and I now realise he knows absolutely nothing about football. So 3-0 win for me, and I'd be very disappointed if we don't get the 3 points.
Unchanged team. There you go. Starting 11. Dubravka, Trippier, Shaw, Joelinton, Tonali, Gordon, Isak, Hall, Murphy, Byrne, Bruno, captain the side. Odysseus, Barnes, Sula, Livramento is back from illness. Almiron, Kelly, Willock, Longstaff and Miley on the bench. Strong bench, unchanged team. Newcastle United. That is how they line up at Manchester United.
Makes sense to me, Steve. Makes sense to me.
Of course it does. Of course it does. You have mentioned the rats, and there has been this advice circulating on the internet. What you should do if you see a mouse at Old Trafford, stay calm. Sudden movements can startle the mouse and make it more likely to run away or act defensively. Observe, take a moment to watch the mouse and avoid chasing. Running away from the mouse or trying to catch it can create stress for both you and for the mouse. So please be aware of that when you're at Manchester United tonight, all fans, if you are watching this as well. And United fans have also been sent this. They're reminded that from Monday's game onwards, fans will be required to bring their own toilet paper and soap if required for use in the stadium's public toilets. It's part of the ownership streamlining of spending the club, which will no longer supply these items. So things going well at Manchester United, it has to be said, with Ratcliffe in charge of things. And thanks to 70s Kid who sent us this. Old Trafford is falling down, falling down, falling down. Old Trafford is falling down. Yes, it certainly is. And there's a few mice having a bath at Old Trafford as well. Darren, interesting stuff, isn't it, this game tonight? Because Manchester United and Newcastle have played some big humdingers over the years. Our away form at Old Trafford, though, isn't great. 1972, you go back to for that win just after Newcastle, of course, had been knocked out of the cup by the invasion of the Parkers, Hereford. And then 2013, when Johan Cabaye scored the winning goal. But our trips to Old Trafford haven't really been great ones, haven't won. This one does feel different, and I don't even feel overconfident in this. I think Newcastle will win this game, but I can see why people are nervous. That's that Stockholm syndrome that we suffer from. But don't forget, we did go down there in the League Cup recently with a makeshift team. Matt Targett playing in centre half. We had centre midfield. We had Dummett playing centre half. We had Tino and Hall, who basically were playing as makeshift full-backs in that game, if you remember, both on the score sheet that day. But what's your thoughts? Rashford's on the bench, by the way, for those of you who are interested. He is in the squad, but he is on the bench. He's gone for Rasmus Højlund up front. Ahmad, the former Sunderland player, is playing Anonymous in goal. Delight, Maguire, Alessandro Martinez playing centre-half. Mazuri, Casemiro, Ericsson, Dalot playing in midfield, Ahmad, Xerxes, and Højlund up front. But go on, Darren, what's your feeling about this game?
For the third, I fancy a 2-0 win tonight, Steve, and we're high on confidence and Man U's own confidence. I wanted to hammer them, but it is Newcastle United. Sometimes they make things hard for themselves, don't they? The worst, I'd take a draw. I do want to win. I just want to beat them, and then shut them up, because I was sick of Man United all the years. Man United, great team. I just want to shut Man U up and make them whinge more, because it's great. Yeah, Man U fans cry. So I fancy a win tonight, and I got Isak first goal scorer, 2-0. Isak has to be prediction for tonight. So I'm confident. We're on form. He's got to play a winning team. He's got to change it. I'll even take an assist from Murphy if we win it 1-0. You know what I mean? I'll even take that. That's how bad I want to beat them.
Good stuff. A few people asking as well earlier on, did they mishear me when we mentioned on the Amigos that Darren said he would get a tattoo? He said he would get a tattoo with Murphy if Murphy scored the winner in the cup final. But we have got a tattooist who is willing to do it for him as well. So fingers crossed we get to the Carabao Cup final and Darren gets this tattoo. We did see he get it on his backside, of course. So
he scores the winning goal, Steve. If
he scores the winning goal, yes, that's right. We know the deal. Barry, thoughts on tonight's game? And obviously the team's been announced now.
We've got to be up for it. I mean, they're the old enemy. As a Newcastle fan, I hate the Mackhams. I hate Man U more than I hate the Mackhams. They've done so many nasty things to us in the past, especially under Ferguson. Absolutely hate the guys. This is our chance to turn them over. This is our chance to get one on the big six, because they're there for the take in the same way Tottenham is at the minute. Eddie should have them so wound up for this. There's so many things I would say to them as a team, do it for the fans. The fans have been humiliated by Man U so many times. Do it for the fans. Go there and just play like you did at the weekend. Because if you can play like you did against Villa, we will turn them over, because they're shite. If you can't do it for the fans, do it for Mad Dog. He showed against Villa that he will stand up and fight for the club. Do it for Mad Dog. Because Man U they're not the team they were. There's not, I put in the chat there's not a player in that team that I think will get in our side. I honestly don't believe there's one player in that starting 11 who will get in our team. And it's our chance to really humiliate them. And all the press is saying whether the Man U manager will be gone tomorrow if they get a humiliating off Newcastle. Good for them, because they're so full of it. They're living on past glories, and now's our chance to turn them over. Unfortunately, I think, like Darren says, we've got that mentality still in our head that it's Man United, and it's something to be afraid of, because they do tend to get the better of us so many times. But we've got to remember that we have done it to them on occasion as well. Not necessarily at Old Trafford, but we have turned them over. I'll never, ever... My dreams surround the Philippe Albert lob over the top of Schmeichel's head, who for me was one of the greatest keepers in the world. I dream about that match. I would love them to do something similar tonight, but like the guys have said, 3 points is all I want at the end of the day. No matter how we get it tonight, I would love it if we would humiliate them, because we owe them. But just take the 3 points and move on to Tottenham, Steve. And I believe we can do it if we play to our potential, which we have done in the last 3 games. I know that's a big thing for Newcastle, but we should hammer them. We should absolutely hammer them.
We should do. Bournemouth went there, won 3-0. Every game's different, though. They have got Bruno Fernandes missing tonight. You've seen the teams there, but that is a big blow for them. But Casemiro, of course, he could turn up. So can Eriksen. It just depends. If Newcastle turn up, I've got to agree. I'm very confident still of a win tonight, though. That is for certain. But Manchester United still at home, still a threat. And if we don't play to our standards, then it can be curtains. But we'll wait and see. 700 of you watching tonight, 300 and odd on Twitter, 300 and odd on Twitter, and 300 and odd on YouTube. So if you are on Twitter, please jump over to YouTube, search NUFC Matters, hit the subscribe button. We do 7 shows a week. Kevin, thoughts on tonight's game?
Play with intensity, play with freedom, go and do what we've done over the last 4 or 5 games, regardless of opposition. I don't care who it is. The football pitch never changes. It's got white lines on it, 2 goals at the end of it, and you play with the football. It doesn't matter who we play. We have to play with the same intent of that, what we've been going, like I said, over the Christmas period and maybe even before that, but results haven't gone the way which we would hope. But if we start like we did against Villa, make our presence known, then control the game, like I agree with Pablo in terms of tactics, they'll fall into place where once you start, if you start the game well, you get into it, you'll find the rhythm, then all that happens, or should happen. But again, if we controlling the game, maintaining possession of the ball, working hard, your basics in the game first. Like I said in the previous weeks, I think we'll come out fairly handsomely and it'll be really comfortable. Again, but we have to earn the right. We can't just allow what I would say that jumping off of barriers, them Man United being entitled to just roll up and win this game comfortably like they have done in the past. I think we have to really, again, show who's the true Premier League side now, because we're in an upward trend, down a downward trend, and let's go to Old Trafford and not give them a slacking, but a professional performance. Then I'll go with a 3-0.
3-0, okay. 3-0 win. Yep, Marcus?
Yes, I'll be interested to see if we can keep on the same track. Man United, you can't write the stuff that is going on over there, man. They hire a manager that didn't even want to go there, not yet, and he walks into some kind of a turbulence after having won absolutely everything with Sporting. I don't know if he knows what kind of tornado he walked into, and I almost feel sorry for him, but I don't, because I'm a Newcastle fan. They've had a quarter of a century of great success that we couldn't do anything about. We tried really hard to break the deadlock, and I have no sympathy for them really, you know. And their captain throwing out their dummy almost every time, you know. Every time there's a call against him, you know. This is a role model that they've chosen to be their captain of the team, you know. And I think it's I think it's very enjoyable to watch because for me they are enemy number one probably right now. We've had some great battles with them in the past. I see nothing but a 3-1 win tonight. If I may also say one thing off topic, you know, there's the Icelandic connection. We have a Icelandic goalkeeper, the only player in the league, playing for Brentford. Before we go ahead and make an offer for Trafford, I would like to see what he does against Arsenal this week. Keep an eye out for this guy. I know he's not a Newcastle player, but hopefully he could be. And I'd like to get your opinion on him either on the chat or later on. Let's see if he takes the chance that he gets. And I'm sorry I went off topic a little bit, but for me, 3-1 tonight, it should be a convincing victory at the theater of mice.
Good stuff.
And even I couldn't be horrible to some of my Man United fans because they're just so far down. I can't kick a man while he's lying down. I don't do that stuff. I try not to rub it in when things are going bad for the teams. And I will not be that guy. I try not to be, even though others do that to us. You know, let's not be them people. I mean, it's the holidays.
Thanks, Magnus.
Everybody.
Thank you, Magnus. We will be live tomorrow night. I've just had confirmation from Joe Allen. He's up for doing a show. So I'll do a live tomorrow night at 4 o'clock so we can have a look back at the Manchester United game. So anybody who's out there waiting for a live, we'll go live at 4 o'clock and we will do a show tomorrow for you. What's your thoughts, Pablo, with your dog on your knee? The sides have been announced. Has that changed how you are feeling pre-squad announcements?
Well, to be fair, mate, he's whinging at the top of the stairs because when we go and watch the Newcastle games, we watch them with my dad, and he knows we're going to my dad's and he's going to get some treats. So he's whining at the top of the stairs. So now he's in jail now. Yeah. He's the Man United saga. Jesus, I mean, it gives me the most glee since childbirth, and I'm on about my childbirth. The level of abuse that we've had off them over the years, and they have always tend to get the upper hand. So tonight, I mean, the Facebook fuel that I will have if we beat Man United will be unprecedented. So I'm hoping for a big win. But no, seriously, looking at the game, I think when you put the team up before, just looking at their centre midfield, you've got Eriksen, you've got Casemiro, and I spoke about our midfield before. None of them have got legs. Casemiro's got hot-head. If we can't win that engine room battle and completely overrule them in midfield, I mean, that's where it's going to be won in my eyes. You've got Maguire playing at centre-back. I mean, can you imagine if Gordon turns up like he did the other day? He's going to give Maguire nightmares on the deck. I think Bournemouth and Man United, I'm never confident. You know, even if they were playing with 5 men, I'd still think they'd get something because it's just ingrained in me from the 90s that they always come up with something. But I do think if there's ever a time to play them and we've got our tails in the air, I think tonight's the night. I don't think it will be as comprehensive as what some of you have said, but I would go for maybe a 2-0 win. And I think I'm going to go for a 2-0 win, fingers crossed, and away we go on to Tottenham.
Okay, Tom, last but by no means least, give us your views and your prediction for tonight, please.
Well, my prediction is Neil Stoker, who's the NUFC kit man, is going to be the man of the match. He put wire mesh inside all their socks so they won't get bit by rats. He packed some wellies in there so they can woe through the stagnant water safely. And he's also packed some medicine just in case some of the foul water comes up, they don't get dysentery. Other than that, because they were the only things that I worried about, Pablo talked about them being slow. They are slow. Their midfield is slow. Their two center backs are, particularly Maguire, is, although he's a very savvy player and he positions himself well, he's slow. So our speed, our engine room is going to, I think it's going to annihilate them. I agree 100% with Barry. I hate them with a passion more than any other team there is. So I'm really looking forward to us kicking them right the bollocks hard over and over again. So I'm going to go a 4-0 win and up the Mags. Let's go Tyne.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us. Thanks to all the admin moderators as well. Big thanks to Tyne Man, Tom, Pablo, Magnus. Thanks to Kevin, to Barry, and to Darren, and to George. And thanks to everybody who's joined us on the Fans Forum in 2024.
Good to see everybody. Thanks for watching.
It's been a show which... it's 2 seconds, guys. I just want to get a few things out of the way. Just want to say thank you to everybody who's been on the panel, who's joined us over the year, because there's been ins, there's been outs, there's been a few people who've done every show, every panel. But thanks to everybody for contributing, and thanks to everybody for watching, because it's become a regular part of NUFC Matters. And it started off quite slow, but it's built up, and we've got a great little family on here, a great little community. And I think Darren in particular experienced that, and is experiencing it more with him living in Tyneside. A bit like George as well. George sees it and gets people coming up to him and saying hello, but Darren's got a bit more involved. And that's thanks to you guys who watch at home. So thank you for that. I'm back tomorrow, 4 o'clock. For those of you who won't watch, Happy New Year to you, and a Happy New Year to all the panel. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next Monday.
Good boys. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.